Open your bug-out bag right now and look inside. If you are like 99% of modern preppers, you are looking at a tombstone made of fragile plastics, delicate zippers, and synthetic materials designed for a weekend camping trip, not the apocalypse. The multi-billion-dollar survival industry has engineered a massive, highly profitable lie. They want you completely reliant on ultralight, expensive gear that is scientifically guaranteed to fail when subjected to the violent, unforgiving physics of a true grid-down scenario. When SHTF, you will not be gently hiking on a cleared nature trail. You will be crawling through shattered glass, evading through dense, thorny brush, and facing extreme temperature drops without a safety net. Welcome back to the den. Today, we are taking a sledgehammer to your current bug-out bag. We are exposing 7 brand new indestructible military surplus items that completely outlast modern tactical gear. We won't just tell you what they are, we are giving you the raw, practical analysis of exactly how to deploy them when the sheep panic. Stop buying liabilities, start carrying armor. Item number 1 is the ultimate tent killer, the USGI Gore-Tex Bivy cover. The modern lie is that you need a $300 ultralight synthetic tent to survive the elements. In reality, those paper-thin nylon walls will violently shred the second they brush against sharp thorns, jagged branches, or broken urban debris. When the wind picks up, those lightweight fiberglass poles will snap, leaving you freezing and exposed. The surplus truth is the USGI Bivy cover. This is a heavy-duty, waterproof, windproof Gore-Tex shell that completely encapsulates your entire sleep system. In a grid-down evasion scenario, you do not have the luxury of time to set up a tent and broadcast your silhouette to hostile scavengers. The Bivy allows for immediate, ultra-stealth deployment. How do you use it? You throw it directly onto abrasive concrete, sharp rocks, or soaking wet mud. You slide your sleeping bag inside and you zip it up over your head. The advanced Gore-Tex membrane breathes, pushing out your body's moisture to prevent internal freezing, while the heavy-duty nylon bottom acts as an impenetrable ground tarp. If you're bugging out through a hostile urban environment, you can sleep in a shattered basement or an abandoned drainage pipe without destroying your shelter. It shrinks your visual signature to 0 and turns your bed into an armored cocoon. Item number 2 exposes the danger of tactical fashion. Nomex Aviator Flight Gloves. Tactical stores push $50 synthetic gloves with flashy rubber armor and touchscreen-friendly fingertips. The modern lie is that these will protect your hands during a disaster. The brutal reality is that synthetic fibers are essentially wearable plastics. If you are near a fire pit, a sparked flare, or a burning structure, intense heat will cause those tactical gloves to instantly melt and fuse directly to your skin, causing catastrophic, irreversible burns. The surplus truth is the Nomex Aviator Flight Glove. Originally engineered for military pilots trapped in burning cockpits, Nomex is a highly specialized, inherently fire-resistant meta-aramid material that will not melt, drip, or support combustion in the air. Hand injuries in a survival scenario are fatal. You cannot process firewood, operate a weapon, or apply medical gear with third-degree burns. You deploy Nomex gloves as your primary SHTF work glove. When you're forced to violently breach a jammed, hot door in a failing structure, you wear these. When you are building a Dakota fire hole and need to rapidly move burning coals or adjust a boiling steel canteen cup by hand, the Nomex allows you to handle extreme heat safely. You retain absolute dexterity for fine motor tasks while wrapping your hands in fireproof armor. Item number 3 redefines water purification. The British military Millbank Bag. Modern preppers obsess over complex, expensive pump filters and delicate hollow membrane straws. The modern lie is that these devices will flawlessly filter any water source. But when SHTF, you will not find crystal-clear mountain streams. You will be forced to drink from stagnant puddles and thick, muddy agricultural runoff. The second you pump heavy, viscous mud into a commercial ceramic filter, it will permanently clog, crack, and become entirely useless. The surplus truth is the Millbank bag. The Millbank is a tightly woven, heavy canvas Gravis filter. It utilizes raw physics, not fragile moving parts. To use it, you soak the canvas to swell the fibers, fill the bag with the thickest, dirtiest mud water you can find, and hang it from a branch. Gravity forces the water through the microscopic pores of the canvas, trapping all heavy sediment, mud, and debris inside the bag. The water that drips out the bottom is visually clear. You then boil this clear water or drop in a chlor-floc packet to kill biological threats. When the bag is full of mud, you simply turn it inside out, violently rinse it in a puddle, and it's ready to use again. It's a zero-fail pre-filter that guarantees your expensive purifiers never clog. Item number 4 is the ultimate evasion garment, the Soviet Union Plash Palatka. The survival market sells you thin nylon ponchos and tarps. The modern lie is that lightweight equals better. But in the brush, nylon sounds like a crumbling bag of potato chips, instantly destroying your stealth and alerting everyone to your position. Furthermore, a stray spark from an emergency fire will burn a hole straight through it. The surplus truth is the Plash Palatka. Issued to Soviet infantry, this is a heavy-duty, tightly woven cotton canvas shelter half. This is the multi-tool of survival fabrics. When dry, it breathes and protects you from the wind. When the rain hits, the cotton fibers swell, locking together to form an impenetrable waterproof barrier. How do you use it? In a torrential downpour, you wear it as a heavy, silent poncho that can aggressively push through thorn bushes without shredding. At night, you use the reinforced grommets to string it up as a tactical lean-to shelter right next to a roaring fire because the heavy canvas is highly spark-resistant. If a member of your pack is injured, you lay the canvas flat, run 2 heavy branches through the specialized edges, and instantly create a load-bearing medical stretcher. Item number 5 eliminates mechanical failure. The German Bundeswehr Esbit folding stove. The modern lie is the expensive gas canister stove. They look incredible on a store shelf, but they rely on pressurized fuel mixtures, delicate threadings, and microscopic rubber O-rings. In extreme freezing temperatures, that pressurized gas fails to vaporize, and those rubber O-rings crack and leak. The surplus truth is the Esbit folding stove. SHTF survival demands 0 moving parts. The Esbit stove is quite literally just a piece of stamped galvanized steel on hinges. It cannot break, it cannot leak. It uses military-grade solid hexamine fuel tablets that ignite with a single spark and burn intensely hot, regardless of the altitude or the freezing temperature. You deploy this when you are trapped in a freezing concrete structure and need to silently boil water in your canteen cup to stave off hypothermia. You unfold the steel walls, strike a ferro rod into the solid tablet, and you have immediate, reliable thermodynamics that the elements cannot stop.
Item number 6 exposes the rope scam. Authentic Mil-Spec C5040 Type 3 Paracord. The greatest scam in the survival store is commercial 550 cord. The modern lie is this cheap, brightly colored nylon rope will secure your gear and save your life. In reality, commercial paracord is manufactured with weak, loosely twisted synthetic filler. Put it under actual tension and it will violently snap. The surplus truth is authentic government-issued Mil-Spec C5040 paracord. True military paracord is a highly regulated piece of engineering. Inside the heavy nylon sheath are 7 to 9 tightly wound inner yarns, and crucially, a color-coded manufacturer's marker thread woven into one of the strands, the absolute proof of military authenticity. How do you deploy it? Because this cord will legitimately hold 550 pounds of static weight, you can use it to confidently lash heavy timber together to build a structural wilderness shelter that won't collapse on your head. In an extreme urban evasion scenario, you can double it up to create a hasty friction harness to lower your gear or yourself out of a compromised second-story window. It is load-bearing insurance. Item number 7 is the silent heat trap, the USGI Heavy-Duty Casualty Blanket. The modern lie is the cheap, pocket-sized Mylar space blanket. While they reflect heat, they are dangerously fragile. The slightest puncture from a twig will cause the entire blanket to rip in half like a piece of tinfoil. Worse, in the wind, they crinkle aggressively, producing a massive acoustic signature that ruins your stealth. The surplus truth is the USGI Casualty Blanket. This is an OD green heavy-duty tarp on the outside, bonded to a highly reflective, reinforced, aluminized layer on the inside. It is completely silent in the wind and incredibly tear-resistant. You deploy this to weaponize your body heat. You string it up behind your Dakota fire hole as a thermal reflector, bouncing massive amounts of radiant heat directly onto your back while you sleep. In a grid-down winter scenario, you lay it shiny side up on the freezing ground inside your shelter before deploying your bivy cover, completely stopping the frozen earth from draining your core temperature. The Gore-Tex Bivy, Nomex Gloves, the Millbank Bag, the Plash Palatka, the Esbit stove, Mil-Spec Paracord, the Casualty Blanket. These are not just items, they are raw, analog insurance policies against a failing modern world. Stop trusting fragile technology and plastic lies. Start carrying the indestructible gear that veterans bet their lives on. The sheep panic, the scavengers beg, but the wolf prepares. Subscribe to The Den. Stay unbroken.